All right, we are live once again for another live stream. Hey, everybody, I'm Palm Beaches Paul, your local realtor and guide to South Florida living, and welcome back. So, I'm doing another live stream, bringing another guest, another local expert here to hopefully help answer questions that you may have related to the real estate market. Um, like today's guest, I think it's going to be very helpful. She has a lot of great information to share about mortgages. We'll get into that in just a minute. I don't know if you saw or not, but I did release a video this Sunday that kind of went pretty big out there. I think we're up to almost 200,000 views on it. And it was an HOA video about the new laws that are going into place July 1st, talking about the HOAs and whether or not they're going to allow commercial vehicles and pickup trucks and a whole bunch of other new laws that are going into into place on July 1st. So if you haven't had a chance to go check that one out, go take a look at it. Pretty good video. And we'll see how that all plays out. It's still up in the air as to whether the laws are going to stick and if everyone's going to adhere to them. We're not sure yet. I've heard some different comments from people since I released that video saying that a lot of HOAs won't have to abide by that new law as far as letting commercial vehicles park. So we'll see. It's always changing. There's always different things. There's a bunch of new laws. Almost 200 new laws are coming out to the state of Florida on July 1st, ranging in all sorts of stuff. So from real estate to just other laws in general. So to be very interesting. But today we're talking about mortgages. We're talking about those. We know the rates are up there, but for some of you, some people are still buying. Some people still have to come here and buy a house in Florida. They still have to move. They're getting job transfers, whatever. I have people that reached out to me today who have students, kids that are going to college down here, and the parents are like, well, we're going to move down there and live next to them. So there's still reasons for people that are moving to Florida. They have to buy and they don't necessarily have cash. Be nice to have that, be an all cash buyer, but that's not the case for most of us. So they have to get a loan. And so today we have an expert. So let me tell you a little bit about our guest today. Our guest is Michelle Wilkins. She is the owner and operator of Rhino Funding Incorporated, a mortgage company located in Wellington, Florida, with over 20 years experience in the industry. She's originally from New York, so a lot of you who watch this channel should be happy with that, and now residing in beautiful West Palm Beach, Florida. She brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the table. We personally, myself and my broker, have used her in the past. Michelle is not only a seasoned mortgage broker, but also a Ramsey financial coach and dedicated to helping others achieve financial stability. She's an active member of her community, serving on her HOA and architectural committee. So ignore my video about the HOA rules, Michelle. She may like, Paul, we don't agree with you. Outside of work, she enjoys fulfilling family life, living here, family life. I'm sorry, guys, with her husband of 23 years, 2 sons, and beloved rescue dog, Buddy. So let's welcome Michelle, and let me bring you on. And hey, there she is.
Hi,
Hey.
Paul.
Sorry, I butchered your intro. I was trying to say her fulfilling family life. I think it was I was looking at family life.
It's all good.
So, hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm going to go over here and check a few buttons here. I want to make sure if we get any comments and stuff. So, and if you guys have any comments today, please, I'll try to put it on screen. We'll try to answer the questions, but Michelle has a lot of stuff to go over, and we want to bring you as much information. Really, this is for, I know a lot of you who've bought a home, have financed a home, but there's still some of you who've reached out to me who haven't. And even if you have, there's different programs out that, especially if you're here in Florida, that you might not be aware of, that you might qualify for. And so today's objective is to really get you guys up to date about the different programs that Michelle can tell you about, and some of the ones you may not have heard of that are specific to the state of Florida. They've got some good programs coming out starting July 1st. So with that, first question, Michelle, how are the rates going right now? Where are we at with interest rates?
Rates did tick up a little over the last few days, but my philosophy lately is just date your rate. Marry your house, but date your rate.
Yeah.
And when it goes down, refinance. Basically, just get in the house.
Right. Have you, what do they think about the rates? Do they think that they're going to, we've heard different stories they talk about, and I know
they were supposed to go down at least twice this year. They were talking about potentially them decreasing in the last quarter or the first quarter of next year. Next year is supposed to be a really big refinance year, is what everyone is saying. Who knows?
Right. A lot of changes. Well,
A
it's
lot of
always an
changes.
interesting year when there's a lot going on, and it's also an election year, and that always has people wondering, what are they going to do? Do I buy now? Do I hold off? Everything from real estate to everything financial. It's always interesting with that. So,
The
well,
day after the election in 2020, rates went down 1 point the day after the election,
wow,
mortgage rates.
wow.
So who knows what could happen?
Yeah, so it is always changing, and I know we don't have any crystal ball to know what's going to happen. We just kind of see the trends. Right now the trend for us, people like Florida, they say prices and all that, but I just looked at today's trend for numbers for townhomes and condos, and last year in May we were at 3.3 months of inventory. We're at 7. 7 is a buyer's market, people. When it's 7 months inventory, you are now above when it's a sort of a sellers and medium. 7 becomes a buyer's market. And so right now in Palm Beach County, we're at 7 months inventory in condos and townhomes. So, I mean, it's a good time to come out and buy if you're a buyer. I know the rates are high, but maybe if you don't have to, obviously don't keep, a lot of people always wait. Sometimes you wait too long. That's a personal preference. But if you are in that position, a situation where you do need to buy and you're kind of like looking and you're like, hey, let's go. Now might be the best time to get out there and be able to negotiate a good deal, because there's so much inventory out there. I mean, they just, I've seen price drops. I've seen concessions being given to buyers. It's just,
I've seen a lot of concessions as well. And I've seen a
absolutely.
lot of price drops too.
Yeah. So if you are looking and thinking about buying, give us a call, talk to us. We'd be happy to help you out and get out there. I mean, the worst they can say is no, and there's no one forcing you to purchase it, but
Sellers are negotiating.
they are. So for sure. So,
Yeah.
all right, well, let's talk about the first time home buyer loan, as everyone likes to call it, the good old FHA loan.
The FHA loan, which is 3.5% down, they did decrease the mortgage insurance rate on it, so it became a lot more affordable.
Okay.
Rates on FHA are in the mid 6s.
Okay.
And last week they were actually at 6.25, which is less than what rates were in 2005. So it's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Okay.
It's not terrible.
And what does someone need to get into? What if they're coming to you and I, and if someone watches us and they call you and say, hey, I've never bought a house before.
Right.
We're moving to Florida. I want to get a place. I'm a first time home buyer.
You need to show at least a 580 credit score.
Okay.
Which is, it should be easier to do. You need to show 3.5% in assets, that you have 3.5% of the purchase price.
Okay.
You can get up to 6% seller's contribution to help for your closing costs. So that should help. Closing costs are typically between 3 and 4%, depending on insurance,
right,
how much the insurance is. An FHA loan is fairly simple.
Okay.
And they allow higher debt to ratio. I think it's an easier loan for a first-time home buyer that does not have great credit.
Which is why most people go into it now.
Which is why most people go into it, sure.
Right. Now, if there was, I don't want to say a negative, but a downside to an FHA loan versus going conventional, what would you say that would be?
The downside used to be the mortgage insurance rate,
right,
because the mortgage insurance rate was up to 0.85. It's dropped to 0.50.
But it's still for the life of the loan, as opposed
to
where
it is for the life of the loan.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But again, it's dating the rate. It's getting into a program where you could afford your payments right now.
Right.
And then this way, when you do refinance and they go down, you're putting yourself in a better position.
Okay. That's
if you do have a better credit score and you are a first-time home buyer, then I would say go into the Home Ready, Home Possible, which allows 97% financing. So it's only 3% versus 3.5%. So it's a little less down. Mortgage insurance is definitely lower. but your debt to ratio will also be lower. So you have to be a stronger borrower and a first-time borrower.
So we have a good question from one of my viewers at Affy, who lives here in South Florida. She said, this is a good question, so I'm going to put it up because I've had this. I'm sure you've heard this as well. So she asked, if the value of your home goes down, will you not be able to refinance?
If the value of your home goes down, which is what happened in 2008, and you are currently in an FHA loan, you could do a streamline refinance. A streamline refinance is no appraisal. You're not allowed to take any cash out, but it allows you to drop your interest rate with very little documentation, and the closing costs are less as well. So yes, if that does happen and you are currently in an FHA or VA loan, you can do a streamline refinance. Now, if you also remember in 2009 and 10 and 11, when the home values did go down, but the rates went down as well, the government put out a lot of other programs allowing people to refinance at a negative amortization. So no appraisals again. So if that does happen, I am sure that programs will come out to accommodate us. Right now, everyone has lots and lots of equity.
Well, I was just going to say, even though we have a lot of, I looked at the numbers and I wish I could pull it up, but I looked at the numbers, the median price of the homes has still gone up. Every time I look at that report from last year, and I could be wrong, guys, but I think it was like $315 for a townhouse and a condo, like the median sales price. It was $340 this year. Again, not going down, going up.
And that's a little scary for me because I did live through the whole 2008. And, you know, I hate to see that the prices keep on going up, quite frankly. I want to see them steady or even go down a little bit.
I think everybody
more affordable.
Yeah. Well, it helps people like you. It helps people like me. I don't like, I mean, the more, look, obviously we're in sales, you know, our jobs involve helping as many people as possible. And the more homes that I can sell and you can finance, the better off everybody is, and more people build generational wealth. So we all would like to see the prices level out to where more people can afford to live in Florida. And the insurance, I mean, obviously we're all hoping for that, and hopefully one day the insurances will get more in line and stuff. We'll see what happens. But all right, so that's thank you, Affy. I appreciate you for your always supporting me. She's been following for a while, and thank you for your question.
Thank you.
For your comment there. So all right, so that's FHA. Now, something I've heard you say, and I want to ask you, and I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm just going to more asking you, true or not, does it have to be 3 years that I've bought it since I bought a house to qualify for an FHA, or is it 2?
No, FHA anyone could qualify for. Even though it's touted as a first-time home buyer, anyone could use an FHA mortgage.
Even if I bought a house and lived in it and then sold it, but rent.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's not a 3-year wait or something like that.
But it does have to be your primary home. Now, there are other first-time home buyer programs. Like in Florida, we have the Hometown Heroes. We have a Home Ready First. We have 100% loan. Those are all first-time home buyers. And those all have money coming back to the borrower to either help them for their down payment or their closing costs. Some of those are grants that do not have to be paid back, and some of them will be used like as a silent second. So it would only get paid back when you sell the house or refinance the house.
And we'll get to that in just a little bit. So I know we want to save that. So those are some kind of cool programs. Okay. All right. Well, so that's the FHA loan, which millions of people have done, and, you know, federally backed loan. So, you know, people are still doing those. It's a great option if you're getting out there. I would say from my perspective as a realtor, the only problem with the FHAs, it's very hard to find condos for you. There's very few, if any, condos in the state of Florida, for that matter, that accept FHA loans. So it's really hard. There's a few, and you can find them on the HUD website. You can go look, or I think it's on the HUD.gov, and you can get a list of all the communities that are FHA approved. And they're, like I said, they're far and few between. But But yeah, but I mean,
Townhouses can be purchased with an FHA though.
what is that? All homes.
Townhouses.
Townhouses, yes, yes, and townhomes are a great option for a first-time buyer because it's that in between a house and a condo, right? I mean, it's like it's you do have your own space. It's a fourplex most of the time. It could be the other high-rise ones that we see as well, but typically the ones that I'm seeing that are like selling that are in like the 300,000 price range and stuff. Those old Devasta built type townhomes, but they're usually pretty nice. It's 1,500 square feet, maybe. 2 big rooms. You got the downstairs area, you got the patio, which you can put a nice table out and
Some
the
have
little lights.
garages.
Yeah, some have garages, some have that patio that's in front. It's a good way to buy, and many of them, if you own it for 18 months to 2 years after that, the rules for most of them, not all, you would have to check, allow you to rent it. So it could be an investment property for you if you build enough equity to go to your next home, or you just sell it and move up the ladder to a bigger single family home. So I love townhomes for young couples and people starting out and individuals. It's a good, or even someone's just looking to come down and say, hey, we don't need all the backyard mess. We just want to go to the beach every day. Show me a townhome. It's perfect. It's got room for my bike and my surfboard, and I'm good to go. So,
and there's a lot less restriction on the mortgage end with the townhome. We don't look at budgets. We don't look at 10% reserves like we do with condos.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier in Florida to purchase a condo. I mean, a townhouse.
Townhouse.
Not a condo.
Yeah. Great point. All right. Well, cool. Let's see. Let's go. Well, let's roll on to the next. So let's go to the conventional loan that people can get a little step up. Maybe you got a little better credit.Maybe you got a little bit more money to put down here. You saved up. Maybe you sold your townhouse and you're ready to buy a bigger home now. So let's talk a little bit about conventional and the different options in the conventional.
There are 2 types of conventional. There's the home ready and home possible, which I was talking a little bit about before, which is a 3% down. That typically will help those that are 80%, making 80% in income of the county median income. So for instance, like Palm Beach County, I believe the median income is, well, it used to be 86,000. I don't know if that's changed. I'll have to look that up.
I'll look it up while you're talking.
So 80% of, if you're making within 80% and you qualify for this first time home buyer loan, it is a lower interest rate. It is a lower MI, and it's only 3% down. You could also buy a condo with this loan, which is a great option because again, it's only 3% down. If you make more than 80% of the area median income, then I would say 5% conventional loan, 10% conventional loan, 20% conventional loan. Of course, depending on how much assets you have to put down.
Gotcha. Okay.
But MI rates are really low as well on these conventional products, all of them. So sometimes it's worth it to pay a lower MI, keep the money in your bank for repairs, for furniture, and so forth.
Sure.
Yeah.
And did you? I'm sorry if I missed because I was looking up the median. It said Palm Beach. It says this is 2022 median household income. The show says like 76,000.
76. I think it actually went up to like 86,000.
Yeah, that's 2 years ago.
I'm not sure exactly what it is yet in 24.
And what is your what are your credit scores for your conventional loan and your DTI?
Typically a 640.
Okay.
But anything over 720 will get you the better interest rate. I'm always looking, if you're doing conventional, I'm looking to get your interest rate as high as possible.
Right. So keep those credit cards paid.
And I have lots of tips too to help people get their credit up, and that'll be another.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So VA, I guess VAs would do the same. VA loans going. I know we kind of talked about FHA. I meant to mention on your VA, your veterans who we love to support.
A VA loan is not based on credit score. So really it can go as low as 580. The interest rates are not affected by a veteran's credit score. VA loans, to me, are the very best loans out there. 100%, no MI, very low interest rates, lower than FHA, and they're allowing borrowers to pay up to 6%, sellers to pay up to 6% of seller's concession to help with closing costs. And again, not that closing costs are that high, but it allows you, the buyer, to get extra money to maybe buy down the rate as well.
Yeah.
With the concessions. Those are my favorite loans.
Yeah, I know on VA, with VA loans, there's some things that they're similar to like an FHA. They're a little more. They want to make sure the house doesn't have, like if there's wood rot, certain things, because they do their inspection.
Well,
They're
there's
a
a
little
termite inspection if needed.
Right.
Well inspection if there's a well on the property.
Yeah, I know. Like up in Port St. Lucie County, if they had a septic and the septic wants, they actually don't even want to prove it. They want it to be on city water now.
Well, but they're approving septic.
Are they? As long as it's in working condition?
As long as it's in working condition, as
Okay.
long as you have the tests that are done. And
Gotcha.
I haven't really seen a test that's failed. Sometimes what I do notice on the surveys is that the wells are not far enough from the homes.
Gotcha.
That's what I have seen a couple of times in VA, but VA loans are very easy to do as well if you're a veteran.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So those are some of the basic loans that most people know about. What are let's talk about some different loans that people may not be aware of, especially if they're living down here in Florida and they've never bought a house, and they're maybe thinking about, now they're a Florida resident and they're working here, have a job in Florida, as I know that's key to some of these loans.
Sure.
Let's talk about some of the different programs that you have available.
Well, there is one other loan, a one-time construction loan, one-time closed construction loan, which is both conventional and VA.
Okay.
And those are really great loans as well, especially a VA construction loan, because you don't have to pay anything during the construction period as a veteran. The regular conventional, you do have to pay an interest-only portion during the construction period. But if you come to Florida and you cannot find a house and you have one built, this is a great option.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
All right. So a Florida program where I know you mentioned July 1st is a big date. July 1st is also a very big date for the Hometown Hero loans, because $100 million is coming available on July 1st. That money goes very quickly. They are giving up to 5% of the loan amount, up to $35,000 as a down payment and closing cost assistance to the borrower. It's a great opportunity to get money. You do have to be a Florida resident. This does have to be your primary property. You do have to use a lender or a mortgage broker that actually has a home address in Florida. They want to keep everything in Florida. They don't want you using an out-of-state lender to do the loan.
Well, that's
it wouldn't qualify.
Florida program.
So that's really great.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
They keep on filling up, replenishing the money, but July 1st is coming back, so that's really exciting.
It ran out quick last year.
They ran out really quick.
Real quick. A lot of people took advantage of that. So
there's a lot of money available. We should all be grabbing it any way we can, regardless of what the rates are. We should be grabbing the money.
No, and that's good. I call that the parent loan. I jokingly say, look, it's a second loan. You're going to pay it back when you sell the house. It's at 0% interest. So I kind of think of it as like borrowing money from mom and dad, right? So maybe with less guilt, because the state's just like, look, we'll take the money when you sell your house. So.
And this Hometown Hero loan used to be just for what everyone considered the heroes.
Yeah.
Firemen, policemen, nurses. Everyone is a hero now. It does not matter what your job is. You're a hero as long as you live in Florida. So it is not job specific anymore. It is not income specific either, where it used to be income specific. You need at least a 640 credit score. So fairly easy.
Yeah.
Fairly easy.
That you got to get in and apply for, because that money will go.
Get in, apply for it. Make sure you're utilizing someone that is already approved with this
Right.
program.
That's
Um, and then get under contract and lock the rate, because once you lock in, then the money is guaranteed. If you
that's
don't lock in and you float around, the money could disappear.
good deal. All right. So
Yeah.
that's one's a big one that's been publicized, but I know that you mentioned a couple. You sent me an email, some that I've never heard of.
There is 100% loan. I know it's been in the news. It is lender specific. This is done only with United Wholesale Mortgage, UWM. They are given up to $15,000. So 3% of a down payment. So figure a $450,000 home. So you do not have to come in with a down payment at all, as long as you buy a home in that price range or below. It gets held as a silent second, and again, it gets paid back only when you refinance it, sell the house.
And it's 0% interest, or is there?
The second is 0% interest, no payment.
Interesting.
It's pretty great. It really is great.
Have you
And
had
again,
many
it's
people apply
helping
for
the
that?
first-time home buyers.
Have you had many people like go that route?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's simple to do. I was doing it when it was 1%, and then the lender revised it and did 3%. So I helped a lot of people just with the 1%, and they came in with 2% of their own funds. If you are under 50% of the median income in whatever county you're purchasing, you also get an additional $2,500 to be used towards your closing costs, and that does not have to be paid back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So some good programs out there that I think, and again, that's why we're doing this, to let people know about the programs, and again, like I said at the beginning, folks, it might not be right time for some of you, but for some people out there, they do have to buy a house. They have a job transfer. Their kids are moving here for college or whatever it is. People are always having to buy real estate, even in the market where it's not maybe the best market. They'd rather buy than rent. So buying a house is everyone's individual personal decision. Some people may think, why would someone buy right now? Where someone else goes, I have no choice. I do need to buy now. So, sticking your head in the sand is not an option. So what we're doing here today is providing the information of what's out there. And obviously we can't give all the information out in a live stream here. You're going to sit down and, if you're serious about it, you'll talk to Michelle and she'll go over everything that you need and all the details. And either it works for you, it doesn't work for you. So, but I know as a realtor, I see a lot of people, realtors just tell people to buy, that's their job. Well, yeah, that is my job. I'm a realtor. That's how I get paid. So duh. I mean, there's no surprise there, folks. But I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. And for some people, they do have to buy. So, it's not the right time for you. Sit where you're at. Call me when you're ready. Call Michelle when you're ready. But for some people, they do have to buy right now with everything going on. And my phone, I was talking to someone today and I was showing a property to someone the other day. So there are people out there that do need to always look at options for buying real estate. So, and it's sometimes renting is better for people. Sometimes buying a house is better for people.
Mm-hmm.
At least with the homeowner, if they work at it and they build it, they can sell it and make an equity. You'll never make anything renting. So, but that's everyone's personal preference. So, all right. I know there's, so what are some of the other, what are some things that people, especially locally, now this is going to vary to Palm Beach County maybe, but are there some special programs out there that are going on? I guess it's different county.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's one more that is not income driven at all. It's called the Home Ready First, and it depends on the zip code that you live in now. What is showing up on your driver's license? And you actually have to give a copy of your driver's license, and then your zip code has to be ran to see if you qualify. I know almost every home in West Palm Beach qualifies.
Interesting.
But it's every county has some homes that do qualify. And if you do qualify, you get $5,000 at closing to use however you want. So it is not a grant that has to be paid back. It's money that is given to you.
And that's in Palm Beach County?
It's not just in Palm Beach County. It's in all of Florida.
Oh,
but I know in
West
Palm, right. Yeah, it's in all of Florida. So we just have to check the zip code to see if where you're living now. This program started because a lot of people were living in more expensive counties like Palm Beach County, and they needed to relocate just to be able to afford.
Yeah.
And in relocating, that's why they came up with this $5,000. I don't know if it was an incentive to get out of the more expensive counties. I don't know what the thought process behind it was, but I thought it was really interesting because it's $5,000.
And I know, and again, this is more specific to like a municipality like a Boynton or West Palm, but they every once in a while they do have the SHIP program, right, which will help grant a little bit of money.
They do.
And can they use that in coordinate in conjunction with like with what you're doing with like one of your
other programs? The SHIP programs are very specific. You do have to be at a lower income level. You do have to purchase properties in lower income areas.
Okay.
You do have to use the specific lenders that SHIP is offering, and you do have to take classes.
Okay.
So it is more specific. Money for those programs runs out quickly. So you should almost start taking the classes in November, December, October. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row because the money usually is replenished in January.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it goes quick.
So all right. Where are we on your list? Because I don't have my list and I didn't print it.
We basically have gone through all the programs that are given any money or any incentives out. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about. All right. So I know it's a lot of information there, folks. And if you want, like I said, you can always reach out to Michelle, and we can talk about. She can talk about all those programs. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the NAR settlement. And I know you and I talked about this a while back. Have you heard anything? I know the latest thing that came out was that they said that the VA was going to allow them to finance part of, say, the buyer's commission if they were forced to pay the buyer's commission, which is all going to go.
If they were forced to pay it. What they were saying was ordinary practices, whatever the ordinary practice is. So ordinarily, because the seller is always paying, they would allow seller's concessions on top of the 6% that they would allow for closing costs, on top of the 6% to be applied for a buyer's concession, for the buyer's realtor.
Gotcha.
They were not talking about rolling any money into the loan.
Right.
For the buyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people were wondering. I remember when we talked a while back, when I talked about the NAR, that goes the same for regular mortgages, right?
Yeah. The meetings that I attended on the lender side, what they were saying is that the only thing that they're seeing as a change for the realtors is that there is going to be more transparency. Just like the mortgage brokers and appraisers went through in 2009, 10, 11, 12, there's going to be a lot more transparency as to what the commissions that the realtors are being paid up front.
Right. Yeah. We just got some new documents that came out that talked about, there's like 4 new documents that the state of Florida just released. I haven't read all the way through them. I had my broker send them to me and I was kind of looking through them, but it did have in big bold black letters that commissions are negotiable like that. And it points it out, letting them know that they're not set in standard. They've never been set standard. It's always been negotiable, but now it's going to be even more transparent, I guess.
Good realtors, and for the realtors that really care about their clients, they've been negotiable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've walked in and, hey, Michelle, I want to sell your house, and what do you charge, Paul? I charge this, and you go, well, I'd like to pay this. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Or no, and walk and don't get the listing.
Right.
So, but
there are a lot of realtors that are not like that. There are a lot of real estate companies that will not negotiate at all, or at least they never did in the past. I know when I sold my house, when I lived in New Jersey and sold my house in 2005, and the realtor came in, there was no negotiation at all.
Yeah.
It was a take it or leave it type of mentality.
There's the door. Don't let it hit you in the backside.
Yeah, I know.
100% of nothing is nothing. So,
I know, you're right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we know August 17th is coming around, so it's going to be interesting for everybody. Your industry, my industry. We'll see what happens. We just have to keep rolling with it. It's it's a change and it's happening, so you can accept it or go apply for Starbucks or something.
Right.
But
I do want to just bring up one more item for the
yeah,
sellers that are selling their homes to maybe bring a little bit more interest into their home. There are the temporary rate buy downs that they could offer to their buyer, not just a seller concession. It is a seller concession, but that money is utilized to buy down the buyer's rate. So for the first year, the rate is brought down 3%. So instead of it being the 6.25, they're back to paying the 3.25. The second year, it's 4.25. The third year, it's 5.25. If at any time in those 3 years, if the rates go down and the buyer wants to just refinance, that money that's in escrow that the seller paid goes back to the buyer to use for closing costs or anything else. It's a great program, and it's something good that the seller could use to entice buyers to come to see their homes, especially now that homes are sitting on the market a lot longer.
Yeah, they're definitely sitting around a little bit longer than they were the days before, where they went real quick. Although my awesome broker and I did have 2 properties that we put on the market on a Wednesday, did an open house on a Saturday, and had a contract on a Sunday. So
that's amazing, and you must have priced it right, and did everything else correct.
Priced it right, good photos, good representation, but it doesn't always happen that way. I also have some that we're trying to, we've done that, and it's the market's just there's more competition out there right now. So you put it out there, you try the best and see what happens, and so we're definitely seeing that change in the market. Even talked to some realtors today at an event that I went to, and they said the same thing. They're seeing it. So, well, Michelle, I appreciate you coming on and sharing this. Is I know it's helpful that there's a lot of people, especially who watch YouTube, that aren't our age, that are younger, that may have never bought a house before. There's old people our age who may have never bought a house before, and things are always changing in the industry. And it's good to have knowledge is power. So it's good that they know this. Look, guys, if you want to reach out to her information's here, or you can always go to my channel and fill out my form, get in touch with me, and I'll make sure to get you in touch with her. Just reach out to me. But it's just good that people know these options are out there buying. And like I said before, guys, I am aware of the market and the situation we're in. I'm aware of the insurance quotes that are out there and stuff. I'm aware of what's going on. And yes, it's not the greatest news in the world. But as I said, some people still have to buy regardless of the situation. Their job, they may get a transfer, and it's like, hey, they don't want to rent. They're coming down here and they need to find a place to live because that's what they have. Maybe they have 6 dogs. Who knows? Whatever it is, there's always someone who has to buy. So our job is to be here to help you. And I say this, and I know Michelle may see it, may not, but contrary to what a lot of people think about realtors and people in this industry, look, we're here to help people. That's our job. Yes, we get paid. That's what we do. You get paid. So we're just here trying to provide some helpful information. Whether you take that information and use it and give us calls, it's up to you. But you know me, I'm here. I'm going to continue to do these live streams with people, and I'm going to continue making videos like I did Sunday and keep putting that information out there for you guys. And Michelle, thank you so much for your time. I hear your puppy in the background, and if someone reaches out, I'll make sure if someone needs to get a hold of you, I'll put them in touch with you. And thank you for sharing the information today. And hopefully we'll have you back again. Maybe we'll see what happens after August 17th when we have a whole brand new world. We'll see what happens.
And think about the credit, helping people get their credit scores higher. Because I have a great presentation on that. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is important with a lot of people, especially now where everyone's definitely living off credit card quite a bit.
And it's not just for homes. It's to purchase cars. It's to
good credit.
Our identity.
You can't get certain cable or power service.
Right.
some of them won't, you know, if they look at your credit
Right.
score, they'll make you do
And
a
the
huge
tips
deposit.
are really simple, and it's not just pay your credit cards. That's not.
Yeah. No, it makes
It's
sense.
better than that.
So, well, thank you very much. I
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Paul.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'll let you go. I'm going to hang on for just one more minute. And we appreciate you. And I'll see you around next time you stop by and visit us.
All right. Thanks again.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. So appreciate you guys watching. So it'll be a little shorter one today, but yeah, I wanted to make this video because there's programs out there. And if you guys are thinking about buying and looking, these are some of the programs that are available. She's a good lender. You can reach out to her. And she has great information to share. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy these type of videos. I like to do the quick live streams. I do have a lawyer that I'm probably going to be talking to in July. That'd be a good one to bring him on. And he is specific to homeowners associations. So as you saw the video that I just did Sunday, went crazy. You know, that was kind of a interesting video because I just had some personal feelings in there that I put in that video. You may have seen, and just my opinion. That's how I feel. So you guys have been watching my channel for a while. You know that I don't BS you, right? So I showed how I felt, and some people liked it and some didn't. That's okay. That's all right. I'm not going to please everybody. I never intend to, never plan to. But if you like these videos, please be sure to leave a comment and let me know so that I can continue to bring more guests on and try to do these at Wednesday at 6 p.m. It seems like a good time to do it. And with that, I guess I'll see you guys Sunday at 10 a.m. on my YouTube channel. I'll have a new video coming out about something that I think you're going to really be interested in watching, and definitely going on here in the state of Florida. So be sure to watch Sunday at 10 a.m. for my newest video. And for those of you that might want to subscribe or actually join the membership, you guys would see it as soon as I release it, which would be sometime Saturday night. So you can be a member of the channel. If you want to check that out, you get early viewing of all my videos. So anyway, I appreciate it. Thanks, Affy. I'll see you Sunday as well. Thank you so much for coming on. And hey, everyone, I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks for your time and interest in this. Be sure to like, subscribe, and be sure to go watch all my other videos. And with that, wherever you are out in the world, get out and enjoy paradise. And I will see you Sunday at 10 a.m. Take care.